Hi everyone, I'm Heather. Welcome to yoga for the upper back and shoulders. We hold a lot of tightness and tension in those areas, especially with all the driving and texting and typing that we do every day. So we're just going to take a few minutes today to help open those areas, release some tension, and just feel better. So let's do this. Go ahead and find a comfortable seat anywhere on the floor or on a chair, wherever works for you. And we're going to start with a few shoulder rolls. So as you breathe in, lifting those shoulders up towards the ears, and on the breath out, just drawing them back and down. A couple times like that. Inhaling as they come forward and up, exhaling back and down. 2 more times with that breath, just big circles, nice and slow. And 1 more breath, inhaling as they come forward and up, exhaling back and down. Let's roll them the opposite direction just a couple times. This way is often a little bit harder, a little bit tighter to roll them forward and up, but just give that a try. Maybe inhale, draw them back and up, and exhale forward and down. 1 more time. All right, and then 1 last inhale up, exhale those shoulders all the way back and down, and just allowing them to rest and relax here. Finding a tall spine, which allows our breath to flow a little bit easier. Just good posture, engaging through that lower belly. Our posture affects not only our breath and how we feel, but also our mood as well. So we want to sit up nice and tall, lifting tall through the crown of the head, and just slightly tucking the chin a little closer to the chest. So we find a little bit of length through the back of the neck, also through the sides of the neck. Just think about creating that space between the shoulders and the ears. Feel free to close those eyes here for a few moments, or if you'd rather keep them open, you can just gaze down at the floor slightly in front of you. Softening, just relaxing the muscles through the face, maybe the area around your eyes, your jaw. Beginning to bring awareness to your breath. You don't need to change the breath at all, we're just watching it, just noticing maybe the depth of your breath, noticing the pace of your breath. You might find just by bringing awareness to your breath, it starts to change, it starts to slow down a little bit. And it might not, and that's okay too. We're just going to watch 3 more breaths here as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Okay, on that next inhale, let's reach those arms out to the sides, up towards the ceiling until those hands connect at the top, and then exhaling your hands down to your heart center. Again, on the inhale, reaching up, try to draw those shoulders back, and then inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart center. 1 more time like that, inhaling, deep breath in, reaching out through those fingertips, exhaling those hands through the heart center and down to the floor out in front of you, and we're going to walk those hands forward as far as you can. Palms on the floor, fingertips connected with the floor. And as you breathe in, try lifting a little bit taller, keeping the hands on the mat. Just lift through that torso, extend through the spine, and exhale, softening the shoulders towards the mat. 2 breaths like that. As you inhale, grounding down into those fingertips, lifting the chest away from the floor, and exhale as you relax, folding over those legs. 1 more time, inhaling as you lengthen. Exhaling, just softening through that upper body, dropping the chin a little closer to the chest. Try to connect or keep those sitting bones connected with the mat underneath you. 1 more breath here. And then inhaling, slowly walking those hands back up. If those legs are crossed, let's cross them the other way. The other leg in front or on top. Once again, just bringing those hands to the tops of those legs, or they can be on the floor, wherever's comfortable. Little side note, if it's ever uncomfortable to just sit on the floor, you can always get a pillow, a blanket, a cushion, a block, anything to help lift those hips, just sitting on the front edge, as that'll help take a lot of tension and pressure out of that lower back. So as we sit tall again here, we're just gonna bring that head over towards the right shoulder. We're just dropping the ear a little closer towards the shoulder, lifting the chin up towards the ceiling. And then that left hand, we're gonna bring it to the floor, out to the side of the body. Now pausing here for a moment, Bringing awareness to the side of your neck, the upper shoulder, you might feel a little stretch or an opening there. And you can stay right here, or maybe you start to move those fingertips around on the floor or your mat. Trying to move them maybe in both directions, each side, or maybe walk them a little further away from the body, a little closer to the body, and just pay attention to how that changes what you might feel through the neck and the shoulder here. We'll just spend 3 more breaths here. Either moving the hand around on the floor, or you can just stay and hold. And then slowly, when you're ready, bringing the hand back in, inhaling the head up to center, pausing right here in the middle for a moment. Just kind of check in and see how the neck feels. And then on the next breath out, we'll bring that head over towards the opposite shoulder. So dropping the ear a little closer to the shoulder, lifting the chin slightly up towards the ceiling. Maybe you just want to stay right here if that feels like a good stretch on the neck and shoulder, or you can bring that right hand out to the side, onto the floor, feeling those fingertips connect with the mat. And then just staying here for a few breaths. Maybe you move those fingertips around on the floor. It might change where or how you feel stretch on the neck or the shoulder. Maybe it feels the same. Just 3 more breaths with whatever feels best for you. Okay, very slowly bringing the hand back to the leg. Inhaling the head back up to center. Just checking in. And then that next breath in, we're going to reach these arms all the way up again. And exhaling those hands through the heart center, back to the floor in front, and walking those hands forward. Just like we did on the other side. This side might feel a little tighter, a little less tight. Again, just connecting the fingertips with the mat. On the breath in, just lifting through that torso. Try to lift the heart away from the floor. And then on the breath out, relaxing the shoulders. You might be able to walk those fingertips a little further forward. Inhaling as we lift, finding a little more space through the spine. Exhaling as we fold. One last movement. Inhale as you lift. And exhaling, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the chest, dropping the chin closer to the chest. And then when you feel ready, slowly walking those hands back up. We'll uncross those legs, bringing them out in front of you, maybe shake them out a few times. And then we're going to bring these hands behind the body, the fingertips pointing in towards the body. And on the breath in, getting a little lighter through those hips as we lift the heart up towards the ceiling. The shoulder blades drop back and down. Drawing those shoulder blades together. Elbows, maybe they're straight, maybe they're bent. If they're bent, just try to keep them pointing straight back behind you. Taking 3 breaths here. Even though we're slightly leaning back, try to continue to lift up through the heart, through the top of that chest. Again, grounding down into those heels, getting a little lighter through those hips. 1 more breath here. And then exhaling, relaxing all the way down. Maybe take a few circles with those wrists. Okay, slowly bringing those feet to the mat, connecting each one of those toes with the mat, connecting your heel, hands can be on the front of those legs. Moving with the breath a few times. On the breath in, we're going to sit up nice and tall, rolling the shoulders back and down, maybe turn that gaze up towards the ceiling. And then on the breath out, rounding through the back, drawing the belly in, the shoulders can relax and soften. Inhaling as you reach the heart forward and up, shoulders drop back and down. Exhaling as you round through the back, chin comes towards the chest. Just 3 times each direction. Unless it feels nice to just stay and hold anywhere along the way, you're always welcome to do that. Or you can move with the breath. Maybe try to move a little deeper into those hips, tilting them forward as you breathe in, drawing them back as you breathe out. 1 more time each direction. Try to relax the grip on those legs. And then making your way back to that neutral spine. Swinging those feet around behind you. We're going to come onto those knees. And we're just gonna gently sit those hips back towards those heels. Now, if this is uncomfortable on the knees or the hips, you can always just come up all the way onto those knees. Otherwise, we're gonna come into a child's pose. So extending those arms forward, palms on the mat, hands about shoulder width apart. Now on the breath in, we're gonna come forward and up into our kneeling plank. It's just like the top of a push-up, but on those knees. Now check out those hips. Sometimes they like to relax towards the floor, but today we're gonna engage. Drawing that lower belly up away from the mat. Reaching the tailbone straight back behind you, crown of the head forward. Inhaling as you reach, shifting your weight forward, shoulders draw down the back. And exhale, elbows bend. We're slowly gonna lower all the way down to the chest and the belly. And then on the inhale, just slide in those arms forward until you come onto those forearms. So peek down, see if we can bring those elbows in line with the shoulders. Palms on the mat. Once again, really connecting each one of those fingertips with the floor. Using those connection points to help stabilize and anchor. Now here, it's called Sphinx. You could totally hang out and do nothing. Or to open the upper back, maybe on the breath in, we lift tall through the crown of the head. Try to press the mat away from you with those elbows and with those fingertips. And then think about your heart center, the upper chest. Try to reach it forward towards the front of your mat. So we're not only lifting, but we're also reaching forward through the heart. Relaxing through the thighs. Relaxing into the tops of those feet. But that lower belly, try to engage it, lifting it away from the floor. Continuing to breathe for 2 more breaths here. See if we can draw those shoulder blades a little closer together. Drawing them down the back and lifting those ears up away from those shoulders. On that next exhale, go ahead and lower all the way down, just bringing the hands together. Your forehead comes to the tops of those hands, and just allow the shoulders, the belly, the legs to rest on the mat for 3 full breaths. Okay, when you feel ready, bringing those hands back underneath those shoulders. On the inhale, we're going to try to lift the chest and the belly at the same time. So inhaling back up to those knees, and exhale, reaching the hips back towards those heels. Now let's keep our left hand on the floor, arm extended. On the inhale, we're going to reach our right arm up towards the ceiling. Turning that gaze up at that right hand as well. Maybe we can drop that left shoulder a little closer to the floor. And then on the breath out, we're going to reach that right hand down and walk it underneath the left arm. So walking both hands, so right arm out to the side, left arm forward, extending through those arms. You might begin to feel a little stretch through that right shoulder. And your head can hover over the floor, or you can bend that left arm and rest your head here. And if it's more comfortable on those hips, you can have the hips lifted and be here. 3 breaths, breathing into that space you're creating on that right shoulder. And then we're going to add a little twist, a little opening for that left shoulder. So we're going to keep the right hand where it's at. Left hand we're going to lift up towards the ceiling. Turning the palm facing behind you and slowly reaching that left hand back until it finds the lower back, maybe the hip, maybe the top of the thigh, wherever that hand lands. Gently pressing it into the body so we can open this left shoulder, drawing it back just for 1 full breath, relaxing through that right shoulder as much as we can. And then slowly unwinding. We'll bring both hands back to the floor. Out in front of you, just relaxing over those legs, finding a spot for that forehead to connect. And when you're ready for the opposite side, we'll keep the right hand on the floor, fingertips grounding down. Inhaling, left arm reaches back up. And then exhaling as you reach down, underneath that right arm, walking it all the way out to the side as far as you can. Extending through both arms, unless you want to rest your head on that right arm, you can do that. Finding about 3 breaths here, making any adjustments needed to make this a little more comfortable, whether that's lifting through the hips, maybe you just want to be all the way up and you can just cross your arm over the body. Just listening to the body. And then when you're ready to add that twist, keeping your left hand on the floor. Inhaling, the right arm reaches up this time. We'll turn the palm facing behind you and slowly reach back to your low back, the hip, or the top of the thigh. Gently pressing the hand into the body as we draw that right shoulder back. One full breath. And very slowly unwinding, bringing both hands back to the mat out in front of you, reaching those arms forward, hips draw back. And then very slowly we'll walk those hands coming all the way up tall onto those knees. Taking a few shoulder rolls here. And then we're going to bring these hands to the lower back. So you can have your hands in fists. Maybe they're flat on the back, fingertips pointing down or up, whatever feels best. Just taking a big shoulder roll up and back, drawing those shoulder blades down the spine. On the breath in, turning that gaze up, lifting up through the heart center. On the breath out, relaxing those shoulders, gently pressing those hips forward, trying to keep those thighs engaged. Keeping the belly engaged even though we're lifting and opening. Finding 2 more breaths. Each breath in, lift a little taller. Each breath out, softening through those shoulders. And then as you're ready, slowly coming back to center, releasing the hands, releasing the hips. We'll slide those feet around to the front. Once more, finding a seat on your mat. So just sitting up nice and tall once again. Trying to sit evenly on those sitting bones. You can be seated on your mat, on a block, on the front of a chair, wherever works. On the inhale, we're going to reach both arms all the way up. And exhaling as we turn to the left side. We're going to open these arms, bring one hand to the knee, the other hand behind the body. Inhaling up a little bit taller. Exhaling as we turn that gaze over that back shoulder. And then inhaling, slowly bringing those arms back up through center, reaching up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, turning to the opposite side. Again, one hand to the knee, the other hand behind the body. Inhale, sitting up even taller. And exhaling, looking over that back shoulder. Starting the twist in the low belly, going all the way up to the very top of the head. And then slowly, as you're ready, go ahead and come all the way back to the center. We're going to take one more breath. Reaching those arms all the way up, deep breath in through the nose. And on the breath out, just sigh it out through the mouth. Thank you for joining me today for yoga for the upper back and shoulders. I hope you feel a little more open now, ready to continue on with your day, and can't wait to see you next time. Namaste.